to show you today, and this is a great introductory way to get started in understanding about banner ads. So there's 3 different types, what we call direct, intermediate, and then network. So today we're going to go over the direct way, which is the best way to get started with all of this stuff. So let's jump in. So when we're talking about direct buys, basically what you're doing is you're leveraging someone else's hard work. They went through all of the time, energy, and effort to create a fantastic website. And, if you're finding their website, then they obviously have done a good job because they've included SEO and things like that on there to make sure that it's ranking very well in Google. They're getting traffic to their website. So what you're doing is, taking their hard work, their wonderful website, and you get to use that to place your advertisement. So now suddenly your message is going to their audience or their traffic. So the people on their website are also going to be seeing your ad, and that's basically the concept of this. So, banner ads in general, but when we're talking about direct buys, you're going to be working directly with the person, or organization that's created this website that you want to advertise on. So there's some really good aspects of this. It's fantastic for beginners. So it's very easy to, go through it, and I'm going to show you the entire process. So when we're done with this today, you can literally go out and start getting the ball rolling to place some banner ads. It's also the cheapest, as in there's no middleman. So you're not having, as we get into the more advanced strategies, you're dealing with, agencies, brokers, that kind of an idea. And of course, they have to make money, so there's a middleman, and so you're paying a little bit more. So this is definitely the most affordable and cheapest option as far as placing banner ads, because you're cutting out the middleman in that regard. Usually, you're saving somewhere between 20 to 50% of the cost. Also, direct buys are a fantastic way to be testing new offers. Remember, whatever we're going to be doing and talking about those landing pages that you created, you can have the best designers in the world, but you don't know if they're going to be a successful advertising campaign. So don't be going out there and spending thousands and thousands of dollars, a month on, the best, banner ad. You want to advertise on some major site or something like that. But if you've never tested and you don't know that your landing pages and your ads and all of that are the best, that can be a very dangerous game. So this is a great way, even if you're going to be going into those bigger things, make sure you come back to, the direct, smaller option for banner ads, because that's where, that's your practice. And then the cool thing too is, since you're dealing directly with a site owner, you guys can develop a relationship, and you might be getting special offers. I talked yesterday about utilizing other aspects of their business. So if they have a mailing list, well, maybe you can do a solo ad or something like that. You can talk about fancy things like pop-up ads. Or I was on Forbes and noticed when you go type in Forbes, you don't go directly to Forbes. You actually saw a little advertisement come up, and then you had to, so you saw it, and then you had to actually click to say, go to Forbes. So somebody's paying big money for that ad space. So that's where you can get more creative and things in that regard, since you're dealing directly with the person who manages the website. There's also some cons. The thing is, it's very time consuming. You're definitely bootstrapping in this regards. If you have an assistant, well, awesome. But this is definitely a time consuming process. And you're going to see why in a minute when we go through how to actually search for these ones. And in that regards, it's a lot of manual research. So it's not a, overly bad thing. It's very time consuming. And then also in that regard, you're not going to be having as many options and sources, even spending the time and doing the research, as, working with, a broker or a vendor in those regards, because they have contacts everywhere and they manage it. So in that regards, you're never going to be able to have as many or as much potential as you would, when you're doing it yourself. And also, the other con is, if you do all of this awesome research, you find what you want, you know exactly which website you want to advertise on, and you go to contact them, they might only work with agencies and not directly with people like yourself, unfortunately. So that's just another thing too, to just be aware of. Here you find the ones that you want to advertise to, and then roadblock, got to use an agency anyways. Okay. That being said, so basically the direct buys, like I said, so the cool thing about them, you're going to be saving about 20 to 50% off. no middleman. You're going to be building relationships, and like I mentioned, as far as those exclusive offers. So those are that's just kind of the core idea of when you're thinking about direct buys. You know the pros and cons now, but this is just kind of a summary of when we're talking about direct buys. Here you go. So the how-to aspect, and you've seen this idea before, so especially if you've been paying attention to the previous webinars, not sure about this, please go back and check it. Here's the biggest thing. Like I said, you cannot do any of these traffic strategies unless you've done your capture or all the behind the scenes first. That's awesome to be getting, people and visitors. However, you need to make sure that you have something really solid and perfected for the visitors to actually land on. So basically the steps in this regard, you're going to research the different websites that you want to work with. You're going to qualify them, which is, we're going to go through this whole process, actually contact them and then negotiate and figure out exactly what the price and stuff would cost. And then when all that's said and done, the only two things that you have to do to actually do business with them is to send them the banner and the link. Oh, and I guess you have to pay them too. So 3 things. And then this diagram should be very familiar to you. So basically somebody's going to go through, this is you. So you have, 2 to 3. 3 is ideal as far as different landing pages that are all going to have their tracking numbers. So make sure you have that set up. They're all going to go to, remember, your rotator link. And then you have your banner designed. So the only 2 things that you need to actually send to the website you want to advertise on is your banner and that one link. And that's the cool thing too about sending that link to them. You can do business with them and you don't have to update this. You can change this landing page. You can change all your landing pages. You can do whatever you want, and this link still stays the same, so they don't know what they're changing on your end. You're not having to update it every time that you decide to split test or tweak things or remove things. You don't have to worry about that because they only have this link and you're doing all the behind the scenes. And so that's a great reason that we use these rotator links, so you don't have to be changing all of those aspects with your vendors, because that could get very time consuming and frustrating trying to make changes and then correspond to all the different banner ads that you're dealing with. Cool. So as far as ad terms, so things that you want to consider when you're negotiating with the website owner, obviously price, and it can be $50 a month, maybe even less, up to hundreds, thousands, a lot of money. So just the price on that part. You always want to make sure that you do a test run. And you can always try, with negotiating, hey, if we do a test run, can you give me a deal, and then we'll work together. So just some ideas on there. Price is always negotiable, but at the same time, you just have to read the site owner. You don't want to push their buttons, because at the end of the day, you guys want a win-win situation. Make sure you know exactly what space requirements you're going to be in there. Are you going to be, at the top of the page, bottom of the page, a top headline? Are you going to be like the Forbes one where you pop up before they even hit the website? So just things like that. So make sure you know exactly where your ad is going to be located on their website. And then also talk about the size. Is it going to be, a long type banner like this? Is it going to be the little square banners? Anything like that. You just need to know the size requirement. Also something to mention on that regards when we're talking about size. Most of the times when you're buying, if you're buying and not designing your own banner ad, you're going to be getting a whole bunch of different sizes in those regards. So just make sure, one, that you are buying and being aware of those sizes, and 2, that it's then the initial thing. If you pay $5 for somebody to design a banner on Fiverr, they might not be giving you different sizes. They might only give you, a rectangular banner, but here you decide and you go through it and you need a square banner. Plus, different websites that you're going to work with also will have different ones. So you need to be having the banner that you have made in different sizes and shapes as well. And then, of course, know about the length of time that your ad will actually appear on their website. So just things to keep in mind when we're talking about terms.